Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about economic integration in detail. Now let us first understand the basic meaning of economic integration. See, every country which trade expects that it gets certain benefits, okay? Whether we talk about the tariffs or the free movement of labor or the various factors of production or a common economic monetary policy, fiscal policy, there can be many things. But what we need to understand is that every country expects that while it is trading, it gets certain benefits. So, economic integration is the unification of the trade by many measures like integration of policies, free movement of labor, as I said. Now, what is the purpose of integrating the economies or the trade? So, due to the integration, basically countries benefit because they enter into certain agreements, written agreements pertaining to removing various trade barriers. Okay, there can be many custom duties which can be removed or minimized. Okay, so it eventually leads to less expenditure. The country has to expend less. Okay, now spend less. Also, the economic productivity increases as the countries produce to export between member countries in predefined quantities. Yes, when we have decided that this much would be exported to this country, this much to other country, and also our exports basically rise. Okay, and as a result, because of this, the quantity which is manufactured also rises. Now, what are the different levels of economic integration? So, first one is the Preferential Trade Agreement. The countries enter into an agreement of reducing the tariffs, okay, for the members, but not abolishing the tariffs completely. Okay, so here the reduction is done in the tariffs, but not completely. They are not completely abolished. Okay, so it is the lowest level of integration. So these are basically made between the developing and developed countries in order to promote the economic development of the country. See, because developed and developing countries are of two at different levels, so at two different levels. So it is important that the trade barriers are not completely removed, but they are certainly reduced. Okay, example India and Mercosur. Then the other one is free trade agreement. It is usually made between the neighboring countries. Okay, here the tariffs are removed completely between the member countries. Okay, this is for mainly the reason of trade friendly relations and all other uh, economic or political interests as well. Okay, being the neighbors. So example is the NAFTA, now known as USMCA, that is United States Mexico Canada agreement. Okay, so so it's a free trade agreement between the USMCA countries. Okay, both neighbor countries basically. Then the other one is custom union. Custom union basically is just like a free trade area wherein you have all the tariffs being abolished or removed. But apart from this, there is an additional part that there's a common trade policy between the countries. Okay, there's a common trade policy. Whatever policy is followed by one country, that is, let's say, if it is willing to give a certain tariff reduction to a particular country, then the member country of that custom union is also supposed to follow that trade policy only. So example is the Asian country, that is Association of Southeast Asian Nations, right? Then common market, everything is there. There's a feature of custom union, free trade area, but the thing is that it has an additional feature, which is the factors of production, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur can freely move across the borders or across the member countries. Okay, so there's a free movement which is allowed in this in the common market basically. Then economic union, see, it has the common trade policy. Common trade policy is there between the countries, that is, there is there is a custom union, there is a common market, there is free trade area, but there is also the amalgamation of the policies, economic policies. See, we all know about monetary and fiscal policies. Monetary policies are basically adopted by the government to to control the inflation or deflation per se during the time of recession. But monetary policy is basically related to the the changes in the repo rate, reverse repo rates, the statutory liquid ratio, cash reserve ratio, and all, right? And fiscal policy is related to the expenditures and revenues of the government. That is, how much. Sometimes it so happens that the government increases the GST or the income tax, direct tax, and all. So what is this? This is part of fiscal policy. Okay. So basically, the point over here is that economic union basically talks about the countries having the same economic policies as well. Okay, so European Union, we all know about European Union, which has now 27 countries because Britain UK has exited from it. Now the other one, last one, is the political union. See, not only the countries have common economic policies, but they are also integrated to a common system, common decision making body. There's a common president. Okay, so we know the example of United States of America, right? So what did we understand today? The basic meaning of economic integration, the unism, okay, the integration, unification of the various countries, member countries, okay, who enter into an agreement and they integrate in order to benefit from the various trade activities that they do with each other. Okay, so basically members are formed, agreements are formed, and then they act accordingly. So what is the purpose? To benefit the other member countries, to grow their economies, okay, to benefit from the trade that they do, increase export, augmentation in trade activities, increase in the sectors, various sectors contribution, okay, national income. There could be many reasons. Then levels of economic integration we discussed about, like preferential trade agreement, wherein the taxes are removed, the tariffs, custom duties are removed. No, they are reduced, but they are not completely reduced or abolished. Okay, we discussed the topic, or we discussed the example of India and Makosar, right, which is a basically PTA. Okay, then free trade area wherein the taxes are or custom duties are totally removed. Okay, the example of this is USMCA, previously known as NAFTA. Now we also talked about custom union, where in the tariffs are completely abolished, but there is a common trade policy also between the countries. Okay, then common market is where the factors of production can easily move between the countries. Okay, and economic union talks about that the countries are having a same monetary and fiscal policy. Okay, economic policies basically. Political union, wherein everything is common, right from the president till the parliament and anything, decision making body, everything. Okay, now let us practice some important questions. Which among the following is not an example of custom union? SARC, ASEAN, USMCA, BRICS. See, we discussed that what is a custom union. A custom union is basically wherein there is a common trade policy. So we all know that a custom union's example is Asian countries. Okay, so but the question, yes, the question is asking are Asian countries. The question is asking which of the following is the example of custom union. So the correct answer would be Asian countries. Okay, which of the following is the lowest level of economic integration? PTA, FTA, COCM. See, we discussed that preferential trade agreement, wherein the tariffs are reduced, not abolished completely. So the correct answer is option A, that is PTA. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for your time.